Practice problem 210. We're still in millimeters, part origin. I'm not sure about symmetry here, but okay, we'll go with that. Lines, center lines, circles, art, sketch, fillets, extrude, boss. Start with circles, arcs, and lines, and trim. Okay, maybe. I think that this is one of those cases where I see this kind of dog bone geometry as really easy to create, and adding this on as a second feature might simplify it a little bit. So rather than trying to put this all into one sketch, this is one of those times where I'm going to break it up into two sketches. Dimension-wise, bunch of radiuses and circles. So let's get into it and see what we get. New part metric, and the danger of always doing the metric is the one time they throw in the inch, that's the time that you're going to pick metric, and all of a sudden we're into that unit issue. So. All right, so we have a radius. Let's do the diameter, and since I'm drawing circles, we'll go ahead and draw the insides, the outsides, and go ahead and connect those with a center line. It doesn't necessarily need to be infinite length at this point. So let's see the outside. Let's just go ahead and right click to Smart Dimension. Outside is 32. Notice that little blank that is scaling to whatever that one was. And we're going 16. And then we can just do the center line since that's there, and I'm not worried about max and min on this one. We have 21 on the center and a radius of 18 on the outers, so that's going to give me a diameter of 36. I do want to see the radius though, so I'm going to update that. We'll connect the dots and select, control select, and mirror. And that web was 18, so we'll go that route. And at this point, I have enough to extrude the first one, the 7 millimeters. Let's go ahead and do it. Extrude 7 millimeters. Make sure that you're in the selected contours. If the center line does participate, then just keep picking until you have all of your geometry selected. I think I will put it back on the front plane or the back of the part. And by doing that, though, it does try to reverse. So the difference between Control 2 looking at the back because I want it attached and I want it to come the same direction, I could have just as easily started the sketch out here. It would have been normal to it, and I extrude it the other way. Sometimes the choices you make look kind of, okay, sometimes the choices I make look kind of strange. You're just responding to what's going on the screen, and typically it's not going to be a big deal. All right, so we've got those. Let's see. Let's take a little bit closer look, and we'll scroll up just a little bit. All right, so 15 degrees, assuming that line goes through the center and that line goes through the center for the 30. Radius of 51, radius of 64. We already have the 21. And 13, and then that's already taken, 13's already taken care of in the math. All right, so if we're going to go this route, I'm just going to apply them. This would be a good place for them to decide if it was going to be diameter or radius, but I can switch those over pretty easily. Maybe not that one. I guess it still had the other one selected. I didn't successfully capture it. All right, 51, 64. we have a line going from there to there, and a line going from there to there. Probably will need at least a center line to help with these guys. So getting the angles as they're described, having that center line as the references back to the quadrants, that will speed that up. So 13, 30. I'm thinking of the thickness. 30, and then we'll go 15. Oh, I went to the outside on that one. I don't think that probably helps, because we're going to see it do something on this one that we don't like. When I pick the contour for this inside, it's going to try to come all the way around. So let's just go ahead and fix that since I recognize it. And all I'm doing is highlighting. So let me undo that again because my fingers were ahead of my mouth. We highlight the point. We identify the relation, whether it's at the existing relations or at the little box, and we hit delete. And we're going to bring it out to where I can define this as a region and make it work. All right, so the offset then. Let's see how this is going to play out on the web. So we're good up till there. And actually this line back to this line, I think I still wanted to define it that way. All right, let's see where this this ties in. We'll just go ahead and offset it. 13. So those are semi-connected. The select chain is there. I'll add dimensions, reverse, make sure I'm not getting too button happy. We go ahead and we hit OK. All right, the problem is going to come in when it gets to the circle. And the tail, not real thrilled that that extends past, but offsets like converts mean that it is there, it is fully defined until you mess with it. And messing with it means grabbing the endpoint and dragging it back till it has its own relation. All right, so I'm good with that. If I'd left that alone, I would have been okay. I was seeing that part of it. Where I'm not going to be okay, though, is on this circle. So I do want to convert that into the geometry. I could easily draw a circle over top of it and reproduce it, but I think that works out a little bit better. All right, so if we were going to trim, we would trim this part of the circle, trim that back out. I don't need this to be a single continuous region because we're already going back and forth. Now that did flip-flop on me, so I'm going to rotate it to a position that makes more sense. And the 7 millimeters, why don't we do an up to surface? So we've thrown in some different ink conditions. Some of them have worked, some of them have been less than spectacular. So that is my end condition. And now I have to tell it what to extrude. So since the selected contours is empty, we're going to start there. We're going to go there. Let's just keep going that way, and I'm going to come back to that side. And actually, that does it. Okay, I was kind of worried about it picking up that geometry, but it did recognize the extent of the extrude. So, yeah, I'm good with that. Let's go ahead and see what we get. So, yeah, that looks really good. The radiuses then, we had a typical of what, six on those. All right, so we're going to go into the fillet and type in the 6, and then any of the other vertical. Make sure that we select all of those, and we'll go ahead and hit OK. Now, what I didn't do, let's go back and revisit it since the 3, 4 interior did not get picked up. I saw that right as I hit OK. So we're OK on the 6. So let's go one more in because those are connected to the start loop. That is connected to the start face. So that's also going to do the interiors in this case, which is what I really wanted it to do, was radius, 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 there. Those all look good. So we're going to save this as 2-10. And our value, 36,748. 36,748.292. So well within the expectation.